with Earle Sports Bets. Yeah, the twins, they be checking in, stacking up. Green is the scene that you're stepping in. Winning is a trend, and we stay making dollars. Nerd talk with the sports bet scholars. Yeah, it's R.I.P. to the bookies. R.I.P. to the bookies. R.I.P. to the bookies. R.I.P. to the bookies.
We are live. Welcome back to another edition of the Earle Sports Bet Show. My name is Nicholas Earle. We'll be joined here by Tim. He disappeared for a second here, so he should be here in a minute. He's backstage. His camera's just off. So fun start there. But we got 5 games in the NHL. We got 9 games in the NBA to go over. So we're not going to waste too much time here. We'll quickly recap what happened yesterday. One right, one wrong in the world of sports betting. And hockey was rough yesterday. Wasn't very good. 1-6-1. Senators. All of a sudden, the Carolina Hurricanes know what playing good hockey is. So that's interesting to see there. Pittsburgh Penguins scored 4, so the team total under 3.5 was a loser. Got a little cute on that game. I should have just taken the under 6.5. I ended up live betting that under 7.5, so I got a little bit of it back, but still not very good. The Flyers lost in overtime, so that was fun. So nothing like overtime losers. The Canucks got the job done. They got a 4-1 win over the Lightning. Florida -1. They get shut out. They lose 4-0 to the Kraken. The Blackhawks couldn't cover +2.5 against the Oilers. Obviously, they did not win outright as well. +350, +2.5, no good. Got a push on the Vegas -1. They beat the Flames 5-4. So overall, not a pretty night in the NHL. NBA got the only team I bet right last night. Mavericks +2.5, Mavericks +120 get the job done. So 2-0 there. And then split out on college basketball 1-1. Got the Golden Gophers -23.5, lost to the Salukis -11.5. They lose outright to the Governors of Austin, PA. So overall, could have been better yesterday. Down a little bit. But we move on.
Yeah, it was not a good day on the site. We got Minnesota against IUPUI, and we got Dallas. That was it. Ottawa, Philly, Salukis, Texas Tech, Chicago Blackhawks, and the Florida Panthers. All losers.
I need to forget to put hockey plays up more often. I do better when I forget to do that.
Don't say that. I will say, for me personally, I know I had the Leafs that won nicely.
Yeah, I should have bet the Leafs when that line.
Ottawa loser, St. Louis loser. The over in the Florida Panthers game was a loser. Vancouver puck line, nice winner there. Sharkies, nice winner there.
Sharks, yeah.
Let me pull up. I wanted to see. Well, did Eberle get a point last night? He did not. So that one was a loser. Both Kachuk brothers were losers. Kachucks.
Brady had an opportunity. Did you see that play last night?
Yeah, the stick poke on the penalty shot.
Yeah,
Connor Bedard.
Kachuk kind of just laid out there and stopped it. He's a very aggressive goaltender. Is one thing I've known with Pyotr Kochetkov there.
Yeah, one goal for who do you call it? The Blackhawks, and it was Connor Bedard +180.
Of course it was.
Oh, you know what? Screw that. I was looking at it. I'm like, oh, I might actually cash my Jack Eichel prop. Nope, he got an assist in overtime.
Hell yeah.
God damn
it. That helped me push to the -1.
Well, that was a +210 that I would have gotten if he didn't if he didn't assist in overtime.
I know you love Jack Eichel, so that made you sad.
No, I didn't get it from Hurdle. All right. It is what it is. I guess break even on a couple of them. But we got a smaller hockey slate today. Got a bigger NBA slate, which I'll be honest, I looked at them. I didn't really find a lot of spots, which is fine. I don't mind running 3 plays out there today. Wow, that line dropped too. damn it, I should have put some of these plays up last night. Because if you saw balling out, you would have gotten 1.5 worth of value on San Antonio and 3 points worth of value on the Nets. I forgot to put them up last night. I don't know what I can really bet today now. Did you see the total in the Pacer game?
Yeah, isn't that the highest we've ever seen? 258.5.
Yep.
That's insane.
And this one's not on a neutral site. We just saw these two teams play each other and go under, so I'll probably end up jumping on the over. But Nick, do you want to head to the chat? I'm going to quickly put up a couple of plays for NBA.
Yeah.
Looking at that game at all?
Huh?
Were you looking at actually betting the Lakers?
I want to talk that game over before I pull the trigger on the Lakers, honestly.
Right, fair enough. I won't put it up just yet, though.
Mm-hmm. Brad in the chat saying good morning. What's good stuff, Gio? Good morning, brothers. Let's get it. Small but profitable day yesterday. Trying to get back in the groove. Yeah, it happens. Odds for Leon versus Covington opened way back in March in the beginning of the year, and Colby Covington at minus 190 favorite. Now he's dropped to a plus 125. I 100% agree with that. I think Colby Covington's overrated. I think the only reason why he's still in the UFC is because he talks. That's the only thing that makes. I mean, the last few times he's fought legitimate fighters, he's gotten beat. So yeah, I think he's overrated. But that's beyond the point. Brad saying good morning. Tim just saw you got on there. Markel, morning. What's good, Dad? Good morning, guys. Hockey hurt me yesterday. Yep. Bet way too much on the Panthers and the Senators, but the Bruins smash going to make everything back. The Bruins are underdogs today, and we'll talk about that. And here's the thing, Tim. I haven't bet any hockey yet today because there was only 2 lines available. I was kind of eyeing down one game last night. I haven't pulled the trigger on anything. The way that one line is moving, that one I was eyeing down, makes me believe that it's probably the right side to go after. So we'll be talking about that. I think that's either the third or the fourth game we'll be talking about. But one line that was available last night that I kind of had circled was a little Buffalo. But we'll get into that. Missed it. What happened? Missed what? I'm all over the Spurs first half. That's it. Fair enough.
I like the Spurs.
Let's get into some NHL for today. We're going to kick it on off here with the Pittsburgh Penguins taking on Les Habitants, the Montreal Canadiens. The Penguins minus 155 favorites here. Total of 6.5 in this game. We'll take a look at the line history in this spot. Let's switch over from the NBA because I was looking at the NBA earlier this morning. Line opened up at a 150 for Pittsburgh. It's up to a 152. It did get as high as 154. Line opened up at a 6.5, and it's now down to a 6. We have I have to actually put the numbers in last night because I put the numbers and I have to actually put it into the spreadsheet here because the Penguins did play last night. So I had to put their numbers in, which their numbers against Arizona, they put up 6.5 expected goals. So it's not like so it looks like when looking at the advanced analytics, I deserve to lose that team total under. I'm surprised. I should have just taken that full game under. But looking at this matchup here, I think this kind of plays well into Montreal's hands. One of these type of spots where I think there's value on the Canadiens in this spot. I'm projecting for it to be Alex Nedeljkovic taking on Samuel Montembeault. It could be different on the side of Montreal, but we know Yari went last night for Pittsburgh, so I can see I see Nedeljkovic today potentially. I think there's value here on Montreal. Let's take a look at the cash flow in this game, and then we'll figure out if maybe Montreal's an underdog worth pulling the trigger on. Because 45% of the tickets, 85% of the cash is on Montreal. So the bigger bets coming in on them. 86% of the tickets, 88% of the cash is on the under. And I 100% agree with this line move towards the under because it's gotten down to a 6. And my number for this game was 5.98. So I think that if it was a 6.5, I'd lean under. At 6, I think that line's perfect. I could see this being something along the lines of 4-2 Montreal, 4-2 Pittsburgh, something like that. I'm interested in Montreal in this game, especially with Pittsburgh on a second half of a back-to-back. But I believe Pittsburgh's back-to-back records are actually pretty good this year. So It'd be a lean towards Montreal right now. I still got to figure whether or not I'm going to pull the trigger on it.
Yeah. I'm not really sure what to do on this game. This is a Habs team that's kind of struggling since the beginning of end of November, beginning of December, losing 4 out of their last 5. With one of those wins being in a shootout, where they blew a 2-0 lead to start it out. Had to go into that. On the opposite side, you got the Penguins, who have also been struggling. They've lost 4 out of 5. They finally won a game last night against Arizona. So they got back in the win column, but I'm not sold on this on either of these teams. They're lower part of the Atlantic for a reason. Pittsburgh's in the Metro. They're lower in the East for a reason. I'm not going to go after this game. I don't think you should be laying minus 155 with Pittsburgh on a second leg of a back-to-back, but I don't necessarily trust Montreal at the moment. So I'm just going to stay away from this game.
Yeah, a little bit of an interesting tidbit on this game real quick. Montreal looks like enjoys playing these Pittsburgh Penguins, especially in the dog roll. They've won 3 in a row and 7 of the last 10 versus Pittsburgh. And they swept, I believe they swept last year's series. They did. They won all 3 against Pittsburgh. Wow. They won 6-4 as plus 286 underdogs. They won 5-4 in overtime as a plus 146 underdog. And they won 3-2 in overtime as a plus 223 underdog. Here's another interesting look for this game. The draw.
No.
The draw. No. Like, these two teams, I think we could see this game be 4-3 in overtime, 3-2 in overtime, something along those lines. I think that this game could make it past 60 minutes. So, I mean, I would lean toward a draw in this game. I know you don't want to see it because it's 2 Eastern Conference teams, and you're just being a biased fan. And I don't want to see Pittsburgh get an extra point when Montreal would beat them in overtime. I don't want to see that. But with that being said, plus 315 for a draw is kind of interesting, personally.
Yeah, man, I would be thinking if I was you, I wouldn't want to see a draw because you never win overtime games.
I mean, it would be a great way to make me feel less bad about losing an overtime game. I'm kind of interested in maybe sprinkling some draws today because there's a couple games that I think the draws are very, very live. Maybe I might just throw quarter units at some draws today. And Pittsburgh, Montreal may be one of them.
Okay, you do that.
I will. I'm going to make it an official. Quarter unit play, plus 315, draw. And I'm also going to take plus 135 Montreal Canadiens.
Sounds good. Back to the chat.
Yep. Let's see. Cash on the Sharks, nice. And Penguins puck line went 4-3 in the NHL. There you go. NBA. You didn't miss any NBA. Tam, you know more. I was talking about I'm getting – all right. That's almost English. That is almost English. That Lens money line came through versus Sevilla. I think that's soccer. Yeah. Morning, gentlemen. Morning. Cash the Square Parlay, Oilers, and Pens and Reg. Yeah. Smashville, never in doubt. Nashville money line under, and Philly. Yeah, I was on Philly. That wasn't fun. Road Warriors are fun Warriors first half, and the other team full game. Under 6.5. I can see that. Draw seems higher odds here than a regular game. Only Bruins for me in the NHL. Yep, I can see that. But I'm gonna start sprinkling quarter unit plays on these draws. See if I can hit some big plus 315s and stuff like that. Talk about a draw candidate. I think this is another one right here. The Anaheim Ducks are taking on the New York Islanders. The Islanders open up at a 230 favorite. They're down to a 209. So a big move towards the Duckies here in this one. Line opened up at a 6 at minus 106. It is still at that number. We have 45% of the tickets, 99% of the cash is coming in on these Ducks. The line is moved towards the Ducks. 75% of the tickets, 97% of the cash is on the over in this game. And I understand why this line's moved towards the Ducks. It's not, I mean, the money's coming in on the Ducks, but that's not the only reason. It's going to be Semyon Varlamov today, which arguably has been the better goaltender. I didn't think I would be saying that, but Varlamov has been better than Sorokin this year when you look at their numbers. And it's kind of crazy to say because Sorokin is a Vezina Trophy favorite heading into this season. But with that being said, Sorokin has played a little bit better as of late. They're giving him a day off here versus the lowly Ducks. And I have the Islanders favored in this game around 170. But this is an Islanders team that I feel like we should just start betting draws with this team. Here's what they've done as of late. They beat Toronto in overtime. They beat the Kings in overtime. They beat the Columbus Blue Jackets 7-3. They lost to the Sharks 5-4 in overtime. They won a 1-goal game against Florida. They won an overtime against Carolina. They lost a 1-goal game where they gave up a goal with 20 seconds left against the Devils. They lost in a shootout. This team feels like every other game is going past 60 minutes. So absolutely the draw, I think, is worth a look in this game. I'm curious to see what they put the draw at because let's see. These are just regulation lines. Score first. Will there be overtime? Yes, overtime plus 355. Let's see what they offer the draw. Because sometimes, now keep in mind, one thing I've heard and one thing I've seen, plus 355. Give me plus 355 with this draw in this game. Small bet. Small quarter unit bet. Draw. Islanders Ducks. We know that the Islanders struggle to put away games, and the Ducks can be very feisty, and the Islanders play a lot of overtime games. So I'm just gonna go with the draw in this game. No play on the side or the total. I like Varlamov. It would be a small lean towards the under in this game at 6, but no play for me here. I see a 2-2 type of game.
I'm not gonna touch a side or a total in this one. I do want to do a little bit of a player prop parlay in this one, and it's correlated. Oh wait, that's not what I wanted. Hold on, but it's correlated, and it's plus 130. Bo Horvat, Matthew Barzal, both to record a point tonight. It's plus 130. It parlayed. And it's and the only reason why I'm doing this, they're on the same line. If one of them gets a point, most likely the other one's involved.
Yes.
And by doing that, I'm getting plus 130 for that. So that's gonna be how I approach this game, is a little bit of a player prop. Barzal, Horvat, because you've seen them, they've been playing well together lately. So I'm going to take both their point props parlayed at plus 130.
And I told people on Twitter and stuff like that that's something you got to keep an eye out for. You give a full off season for that Barzal Horvat chemistry to develop, and their power play. I mean, the Islanders now have a top 10 power play, which is exactly why they got Horvat last year. He wins faceoffs and he improves the power play. That's just pretty plain and simple. That's why they got him. And it opens up space on the ice for players like Barzal and Dobson to really be able to move the puck around. And that's why this Islanders offense has increased this year, is because we had a full offseason of Horvat. Horvat was the answer. So for anybody wondering who won that trade last year, Horvat's still an Islander. They have a top 10 power play. They win faceoffs at a really high rate. Beauvillier is a Blackhawk, and Ratti made the NHL for all 4 games, I think. So for those wondering who won that trade, there you go. Back to the chat, Tim.
Yes. Did you do this one? Eklund got me again. Once I saw Bloom, a name in net.
Brossois.
I threw my ticket. I've nicknamed him Losing Bet, because I don't want to bet or back that guy. Islanders in the over.
I would lean over. Or no, I would lean under in this game, actually. I like Parley.
Oh, man, I come at the boring time of the show, shake my head.
No, you're at the good show.
Okay.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I should have hammered the Mavericks. LOL. I forgot the Lakers winning the tournament. Yep. The doesn't matter tournament. Yeah. What's up, my guys? Let's get it. Let's cash today. Hit the like button, piece of people. Show some appreciation. Subscribe and share. Lots of NBA, and I will say I have like 3 plays today that I like, maybe 4. So I don't know. Bucks revenge spot could be from because they did play in the semifinals of the Does Not Matter tournament. So NBA was decent last night for me. Could have been better, but I'll live. New day. Let's rock and roll. Let's do it. Chiefs, I was leaning over last night. Both goalies have conceded 3 or more goals. There you go. Yes, sir. Horvat shots on goal. Not a bad.
I can definitely see that.
I was just messing with you, Nick. I appreciate the NHL. Stacked pod, Lillard over. Why not? Timmy, 4-play, S bummer. 4-play, yeah. Oh, 4 plays. Yeah, you know what? Because there was some of them that are just ugly games, so I just didn't want to go after it. Let's go to this game, Nick.
Yeah, we have the Boston Bruins and the New Jersey Devils. Interesting matchup here, and the Devils are favored in this game. That caught my attention, and I don't agree with it. Let's get into it. Let's take a look at the line history in this spot. Where it opened up at a 125, it is a 124. So we've had really no line movement in this game. Line opened up at a 6 at -130. It's now a 6 at -125. Let's take a look at the cash flow in this game, where we have 77% of tickets and 73% of the cash on the Devils. And the lines move, I think, a penny towards the Devils here in this spot. My numbers have Boston's the favorite in this game. I will be moving on Boston. Maybe it's a trap. Who knows? Boston's 8-3-2 on the road this year, so they are better at TD Garden, where they're 10-2-1. The Devils have kind of struggled at home this year, 5-6-1. They've actually been a better road team, 9-5 on the road. When you look at this matchup here, it's been just dominated by Bruins. They've won the last 6 matchups. They've won 8 of the last 9. So kind of just been nothing but Boston in this season series. Boston coming in off of a 5-3 win against Arizona. They've won 4 of their last 5 games. Their only loss was a 3-1 loss on the 7th against the Sabres. On the flip side, the Devils are coming in off of a 4-1 loss. This is their first game back off of a West Coast road trip. So this is not a good Devil spot either. This is an easy Bruins bet here for me. I'm going to be on the Boston Bruins. And I would lean more towards Boston. I mean, if you're getting frisky, Boston puck line or Boston regulation. I don't see a draw in this game. I think they take care of business in this one. I think this is a rather easy win for them. I like Boston here in the spot at +105. Maybe it's just a little too easy, but this is not a double spot.
I agree. I took two things in this game. I am on the Bruins. Getting them slightly plus money. And I'm just not you've all right, cool. We've seen a New Jersey team that just went on a successful out west road trip, winning 3 out of 4. Good job. I think it's a little bit of a slow start tonight. And I did take a anytime goal scorer prop, and on my Twitter page I wrote it as the Rat anytime goal +160. Taking Brad Marchand, even though he's a very dirty player and tried to hurt one of the Sabres players the other game. Did you see that hit?
No.
Yeah, no, he it was a uglier hit. But I'm taking him to score tonight. I think the Boston Bruins win this game. So Boston and Marchand is my 2 plays for this one.
Yeah, and if you're looking for some bargain bin type of players, Danton Heinen has 3 goals and 4 assists in the last 10 games on the third line there. Charlie Coyle has 5 goals.
I was about to say, how about Coyle?
Charlie Coyle, and yeah, I mean, obviously Pastrnak has 12 points in the last 10 games. When you look over the last 5 games, it's 3 goals and 5 assists for Pastrnak. We have trying to find other. Brad Marchand has 5 goals and 1 assist in his last 5 games, so he's being able to put the puck in the back of the net as of late. They have Morgan Geekie on the top line with Pastrnak and DeBrusk centering that top line. He only has 2 assists in the last 10 games, so I think he moved up with Zaka out. So maybe a little Morgan Geekie for a little player prop if you're looking for that, because I believe this is his first game up on the top line there. And let's
I don't have, unfortunately, under player props, I don't have anything with points. You could take his goal at like 340.
Morgan Geekie?
Yeah.
I don't mind that at all. So you can get good. Okay, they don't have him for points in this game. They Coyle -118 to score a point. I like that. a little bit there. If you're looking for plus money, I believe on the opposite side, I know I like the Bruins in this game, but Dawson Mercer, I think, is someone that's probably worth a look at plus 139 to score a point. He's been pretty good as of late. On the double side, just listing out some players who have Nico Hischier has 5 points in his last 5 games. Jesper Bratt has 7 points in his last 5 games. So there's a couple players to keep an eye out for. Tyler Toffoli's shooting the puck. Kind of 14 shots in his last 5 games. So he's averaging around 3, but he hasn't done anything points-wise. No goals, no assists, which is surprising, playing on the line with Jack Hughes. And not really too much for defensemen there. So yeah, if I'm looking at who do you call it? Actually, Dawson Mercer has only gotten 1 point in the last 5 games. It'd be Jesper Bratt and it'd be Nico Hischier for me if I'm looking at the Devils here in this spot for player props. But I'm probably not betting any player props, but those are the players I'd look at.
Hey, real quick, I'm sorry I have to do this. I forgot that I have my passport meeting today at 11:15 to 11:30. So I have to go unless I'm not going to get a passport. So I'm sorry. My NHL plays I'm posting now. Take Alex Tuck to score a goal tonight. New dad power. Anyways, what?
No, I'm just messing with you.
Now I have to talk 9 NBA games that you have to leave. So, good luck to everybody, and see you later. Sorry.
Alrighty, so it's just gonna be me running solo for the rest of the show, which is just great. All right, so we'll head back to the chat. I wonder where Tim left off. Here we go. He's like in the Devils money line in the over. Yeah. Nick, you ever in Detroit? Hit me up. I'll take you to some Detroit games. There you go. I don't know if I'll ever be up in Detroit, but if I am, I'll let you know. Appreciate it. ESB, what's good, Nathan? I need like $3,000. Me too. Going hard in the there you go. Make sure you get a free pass card for Mexico and Canada. Yeah. Which is a shame because the next game we get to talk about is the Colorado Avalanche and the Buffalo Sabres. The Avalanche minus 195 favorites in this game, total 6.5. In this one, let's get into the line history in this spot here, where we have Colorado opening up at a 240, and it's down to a 197. So a big movement here towards these Buffalo Sabres, down to a 175. And I 100% agree with this line movement. Line opened up at a 6.5 at even money, and now it's a 6.5 at minus 110. So we have a move towards the over in this game as well. Let's take a look at the cash flow in this game, where we have 58% of the tickets and 49% of the cash is on the Avalanche line, moving drastically towards Buffalo. 84% of the tickets, 97% of the cash is on the over in this game. And the line has moved towards the over as well. I have this game projected for Alexander Georgiev and Devin Levi as your 2 goaltenders. I have this game projected for 6.7 goals, so I think that total is about right. And looking at the side here in this one, I like Buffalo a little bit in this game at this plus 175 price tag. I think they're worth a look at this number. One thing we've seen now, it's not been as much this year as it had as it was last year. But the Buffalo Sabres, where do you want them? You want them on the road against good teams as a big dog. We saw them saw them beat Boston the other day. We saw them beat the Rangers in MSG like a week ago. And why not go to Colorado and win a game like this? This feels like a game that Buffalo would win. If I'm looking at player props in this game, Buffalo over the last 5 games, they've not been scoring too much. So there's not any players that I really have circled right now. JJ Peterka has 3 points in his last 5 games, 2 goals, 1 assist. Skinner has 2 goals, 2 assists in his last 5 games. So those are 2 that are doing okay. Dahlin has 2 goals, 1 assist his last 5 games. Connor Clifton has 4 assists in his last 5 games. So he has a point in 4 of his last 5 games. I'm wondering if Connor Clifton has a player prop here, because if that's plus money, that's worth a look, Connor Clifton. Or maybe Connor Clifton assist. You could probably get even nicer plus money on it. Because he's been getting some helpers as of late. I don't think I'll be able to find Connor Clifton here, though. No, I didn't think so. And it's not like they're going to give me Connor, and I don't want Connor Clifton for a point because he's just getting assists at the moment. Yeah, they're not giving me any type of number here on Connor Clifton, but I think he's worth a look there if you can find him to get an assist, more specifically than a goal, because he has four assists. And if you can get a nice plus price tag, I think that's worth a look for that one. And as for the side, I'm going to move on Buffalo here. I'm going to move on Buffalo at plus 170. I think they're a very live underdog in this game. I'm kind of interested to see maybe the draw in this game, because Buffalo, maybe they're a little frisky in this game. They've won back-to-back games against this Colorado team. They won both games last year. Both games stayed under the total. 4-0 Buffalo in Buffalo, 4-2 Buffalo in Colorado. Buffalo has not been really going to overtime, and neither has Colorado, so maybe not there. But I think Buffalo can potentially bring this past 60 minutes, if not win outright in this game. I would definitely not be looking at a regulation line in this one here. I will take plus 170 with the Buffalo Sabres here in this game. My number suggests that the Avalanche should be more along the lines of minus 150, minus 160 in this game. So seeing a little bit of value here with Buffalo, I'm going to take a shot with the Sabres here in this game. And as Tim mentioned, maybe you take a look at who do you mention? It was Tuck. It was Tucky, which I don't think in the lineup at the moment. He has 2 goals and 1 assist in his last 5 games, but I believe he's a game time decision. So keep an eye out. If he's in the lineup, maybe he's worth a look as well. If you're looking for on the Colorado side, they have been scoring a little bit more as of late. Obviously, Nathan McKinnon, he has 4 goals, 5 assists in his last 5 games, so he's been pretty good there. Other than that, actually not anything crazy. Rantanen has 3 assists, 1 goal in his last 5 games. Makar has 1 assist, 1 goal in his last 5 games. So kind of not really many really standing out. Maybe Devon Taves block shots, because he has 13 block shots in his last 5 games, something along those lines. But just Buffalo for me in this game, if I'm looking at anybody. The Detroit Red Wings. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing a game at the Pizza Box there, Little Caesars Arena. I forgot to tell him that when he comes to Houston, get a passport. Yeah. Well, Houston is in the United States. You do not need a passport for Houston if you're in the United States. Yeah, you don't need. Yeah, we're in America. Avs minus 1.5. I'm on the opposite side. Untouchable saying it's Sabres day. Sabres money line over, and anytime goal for Tage Thompson. Skinner. Yep. Avs money line or puck line. No. Also Tyson Yost and Johnson, if they're playing. That's a great angle, because Tyson Yost, obviously an Avalanche a couple years ago, and they got Johnson from the Avalanche, the Sabres, during the offseason, and this is his first game back in Colorado, and he's on the same line as Connor Clifton, so it's worth a look. Are the Red Wings good this year? They're a wild card team. They're not a cup contender, but they're not a bottom feeder anymore. Yeah. Boston, yes, and Kings and Reg. We will get into that game next. That is a good transition, because this is the last game on the hockey slate that I get the joy of talking about freaking 9 NBA games on my own. But we have the Winnipeg Jets and the LA Kings. The Kings minus 175 favorites in this game, with a total of 6 in the spot. Now, I believe it was Laurent Brossoit yesterday, so we're going to be seeing Connor Hellebuyck in net today for Winnipeg. I'm assuming it's Cam Talbot on the other side here for the Kings. And looking at this spot, I typed something in wrong here. Oh, yeah, this is just I typed that in wrong. That's why it's showing Cam Talbot's been good. He's not been that good. There we go. And this game projected for 4.77 goals. So maybe this is an under potential spot here. Let's get into it here. Line history opened up at a minus 106 for the over 6. It's now plus 109. So we do have a decent move towards this under. Line opened up at a 185 for the Kings. It's down to a 178. So we do have a move towards Winnipeg as well. We have 75% of the tickets and 75% of the cash is on the Kings. And the line has moved towards the Jets. 81% of the tickets, 86% of the cash is on the under. The line has moved towards said under. And I am interested in this under here in this spot, and kind of interested in maybe a draw in this game as well. The Winnipeg Jets, actually, they haven't played an overtime game since November 22nd. On the flip side, the Kings have gone to overtime in 2 of their last 4 games. Maybe this is a closer matchup, but actually the Kings have played really well in this matchup. The last 3 games, they've won 5-1, 4-1, 6-5. Those were all the 5-1 was earlier this year on October 17th. The other ones were last year. And we have the Winnipeg Jets. They're coming in on a second half of a back-to-back. They went with Brossoit yesterday, so they saved Hellebuck for this matchup. They saved the better goaltender. And they they lost to the Sharks last night. So that could be a little bit of motivation here. Maybe we see a full effort from the Jets coming off an embarrassing loss like that. I think this line's about correct when it comes to the side. But as for the total, I'm going to take a small piece of this under here in this spot at under 6 at -125. I see this as potentially a 1-1, 2-2 draw type of game. So maybe you lean towards draw. Jets draws, I think, could be decent going forward. And the Kings have 4 overtime losses. So the Kings are no stranger to playing overtime games. I would lean towards maybe a draw in this game, which the draw for this one, what would the draw be for Jets Kings in this spot here? Plus 330. I'll take a small stab at that here. Draw at plus 330 in this game as well. Just a small quarter unit play for me here on the draw. So we're going to go under 6 and the draw. I'll look for a 1-1, 2-2 overtime type of matchup here between the Kings and the Jets tonight. Head back to the chat, and then we get the joy of NBA. Yeah, he's trying to get the password to leave. Yeah, he's trying to leave me behind. No, he's trying to get it for our vacation during the summer. So yeah, you've mentioned that. Wish time would have done NBA first. I think he just forgot that he had it. So yeah, I wish. Bring on Lemon. Kings MOB, our money line or puck line, stronger lean under. Yep. Under, I'm seeing 2-2 into overtime. That would be the greatest thing possible. Montreal money line. I am on Montreal money line, a bit biased. Hey, Les Grands Franchise, say do hockey. I like the Les Habitants tonight. I like the draw in that game as well. Yeah, NBA. Yeah, you get the hockey guy breaking down NBA today. So just skip NBA, no betting allowed. That is a mood right there. Unfortunately, no. Unfortunately, I have to talk about it because I probably will bet a few of these games. And, I wanted to talk over a few games with Tim, but it is what it is. He wants to leave us. He's going to leave us. We'll get into the NBA now, where we have the Philadelphia 76ers as 12-point road favorites in this game, total of 233. And we know the track record of double-digit road favorites in the NBA is not very good. The only problem is, in order to fade this double-digit road favorite, you have to back the Detroit Pistons, which I, in no way, shape, or form, want to do right now. This line opened up at a 10.5. It's up to a 12. No surprise, everybody's betting Philly because the Detroit Pistons are the worst team in the NBA. They're on a 20-game losing streak. Line opened up at a 232.5. It's up to a 233 for the total here in this spot. Let's switch our cash flow from the NHL to the NBA here, where we have 89% of the tickets are on the over, and the lines move towards them, towards that over. If 58% of the tickets, 83% of the cash is on the Sixers, and the line, or that's the money line. 59% of the tickets, 84% of the cash is on the Sixers. It's gone from a 10.5 to a 12. My number for this game is a 12, 12.5. So I think this line was perfectly fine. So I have no interest in this game. I don't want to lay double digits on the road. I don't want to bet the Detroit Pistons, and this is an easy pass. Nathan leaning towards the Pistonians. Good luck. Lay it or pass it. Pass. Hard pass. Under 233 sounds nice too. I would lean over, but no play there. It's raining in Houston. There you go. And under for sure. There you go. Maybe if you like the over, then maybe you look at a Sixers team total and take Detroit out of it. We got the Pelicanos taking on the Wizards here. Team 2 of the ultimate tank-off. We had the Pistons last game. We have the Wizards this game, which I believe have not won a game in over a month. They are 7-point road or home dogs in this game with a total of 241.5. Let's take a look at the line history here in this game, where this is, I believe, up to a 7.5 now. No surprise, people are just continuing to fade these tank off teams. I believe we have all 3 tank off teams playing today. So maybe I might just parlay against all of them. Line opened up at a 9.5. It's down to a 7.5. So line moved towards the Pistons or during the towards the Wizards in this game. Interesting there. Line opened up at a 240. It's up to a 241.5. So it moved towards the over here as well. We have 86% of the tickets and 86% of the cashes on the under, and the lines moved up, which is kind of interesting there. High total at 241.5 too. 61% of the tickets and 64% of the cashes on the Pelicans. Lines move towards the Wizards, which is kind of interesting there. My number for this game is around a 6. So I see about a point of value on the Wizards in this game. Am I wanting? If I was going to bet the Wizards, I would have wanted this 9.5 rather than looking to bet the 7.5 here. One thing I'm kind of interested in, and we'll actually be able to get a decent price with this because the third leg would be a minus 130. But what with these ultimate tank off teams, 1-48 in their last 49 games. If we took the Sixers money line, Pelicans money line, and the Lakers money line, what would we get here in this spot? It'd be plus 162. Maybe I just do that. Maybe I just be the ultimate square in the world and just freaking parlay against all 3 of those teams. I mean, they're 1-48 in their last 49 against each other, overall, and the only win they have is against each other when Washington beat this Pistons team. So maybe that's just a way to go. And I don't advocate for parlays, but with the way those 3 teams are playing, I don't know. Another game, not overthinking it. Either lay the 7 or you pass. Well, here's the thing: the line's getting better for you to back the Pelicans in this game. It just is, and maybe just the way to do it is just parlaying all 3 of them against parlaying the Pelicans, the Sixers, and the Lakers today to beat the 3 tank teams. Yeah, Pelicans are nothing. Philly doesn't cover these games. I'm off the 76ers. Yeah, I can easily see maybe the Pistons covering the 12, but obviously losing still. Lean under. I'm off that game altogether. Pistons first half, Knicks first half. Maybe or Pelicans first half, Knicks first half. Maybe. We'll keep on moving along here. Charlotte Hornets and the Miami Heat. We have an 8-point favorite in this game, with the Heat being 8-point favorites, total 222.5. Another bad team here, the Charlotte Hornets, who are towards the bottom of the power rankings as well. Line open up at an 8, still an 8. Line open up at a 225. It's down to a 222.5. Taking a look at the cash flow in this game here between the Hornets and the Heat, we have 44% of the tickets and 96% of the cash is on the points here with the Hornets. Not trusting the Heat as this big of favorites. 75% of the tickets are on the over. The line's gone from a 222.5 to a 225. So the line's moved up. My number for this game is a 9.5 range for Miami. There's a couple spots I'm looking to get to. This is just not one of them. I have 3 spots circled that show nice value on the lines that I want to take a look at for today. And this is just not one of them. So I want to be boring through the first few games here. Maybe the only thing I'll advocate for is just that 3-teamer, maybe. But looking at this game, it is it's a pass for me. It's Heat or nothing. So yeah, can't parlay the Lakers today. Why not? Pacers plus 6.5, team total over 116.5, and Rockets minus 3.5. Parlay boosted to 4.06. There you go. Pass. Yeah, another pass. And this is probably another pass here because this game is not appealing at all. The Toronto Raptors are 1.5-point home favorites against the Atlanta Hawks. Line opened up at a 2.5, down to 1.5. Line opened up at a 238, it's up to a 241. So we have a movement towards the over. Atlanta loves playing their overs, and it's a move towards the Hawks as well. Taking a look at the cash flow here, let's see if that all makes sense. Where we have 74% of tickets and only 50% of the cash is on the Hawks. The line has moved towards Atlanta, though. They've gone from 1.5 to 2.5. And then we have 91% of the tickets, 95% of the cash is on the under, and the line's moved towards the over. I had this game priced. They're on 1.5, 2 for Toronto, so I think this line's about correct. And maybe you look towards an over in this game because we know that defense is rather optional when we're talking about the Atlanta Hawks. So I'd lean over in this game. But I'm really trying to focus on sides, I think, in the NBA. And there's only a couple of sides that really appeal to me today. And we'll be talking over the next one. I think there's a side that appeals to me in the next game. So we'll see. They're terrible on back-to-back games, but they are playing the Spurs. Heat don't cover at home. That's why, I'm staying off that one. And they had come from all the way back from down 15 against Dallas. Yeah, but if there's ever a get-right spot, it's against the Spurs. The Heat only beat the Hornets by 2, and they played a few days ago. There you go. Maybe they beat them by more tonight. AD and Braun not playing, the line dropping. If they rule out LeBron James and Anthony Davis, I will bet the Los Angeles Lakers at a plus price tag. I just will. Pass Hawks. Yeah. We'll keep on moving on here. This is a game that actually I see some value in the number, and I might get involved in this game here. We have the Houston Rockets and the Memphis Grizzlies. Line opened up at a 7. It's down to a 6. So we do have a small move towards Memphis in this game. Line opened up at a 212. It's up to a 213. So a move towards the over in this game as well. We have 92% of the tickets, 91% of the cash on the Rockets. I don't like that at all because I do lean Rockets in this game. The line's moving towards the Grizzlies, which may keep me off this one here. There's a couple spots I'm kind of interested in, and we'll see if I get to them there. And we have 54% of the tickets, 93% of the cash is on the under in this game as well. I have this game priced at 9, so I do see value with the Rockets, but I don't know why all the money's coming into the Rockets and the books are making this more appealing to bet the Rockets. So that's ultimately going to keep me off this game. I think I'm interested in this next game a lot, and we'll get into Lakers Spurs here in just a second. I think I'm more interested in that game than I am in this one. And then there's a couple ones later down the line I'm kind of interested in as well. Yeah, pass. This is a terrible NBA slate. Kind of want to take the Raptors. I could see it. This is a terrible, terrible card. Let's get into this next one here. And this is the one that a lot of people are talking about. Los Angeles Lakers and San Antonio Spurs. Line opened up at a 2.5, down to a 2. Line opened up at a 227.5. It's up to a 230.5. Looking at the cash flow in this game, though, this line move towards the Spurs makes sense. 70% of the tickets and 86% of the cash on the Spurs for whatever reason. This team has lost how many straight games, and people are actually putting their money on the Spurs at a +2. This looks like such a fake sharp line that they're just trying to get people to be like, oh, the 3-19 team is only a 2-point dog against a 15-10 team. Don't fall for it. Don't do it. This is a Spurs team they're just bad. And this is pretty plain and simple. This is a Lakers money line spot for me. Forget the 2. I'll just lay the money line here in this spot. And I'll look to, because it's only, -130? Yeah, give me the Lakers at -130 in this game. This is a line that it feels like they're making this where they're begging for Spurs money. And I get it. The Lakers, this is not the greatest spot for the Lakers. They're on a second half of back-to-back. They almost pulled off a comeback win last night. But with that being said, this is the Spurs. And yeah, do we need to go over what the Spurs have done recently? The last win was on November 2nd against the Suns. Since then, they've lost to the Raptors, the Pacers, the Knicks, the Timberwolves, the Heat, the Thunder, the Kings, the Grizzlies, the Clippers twice, the Warriors, the Nuggets, the Hawks, the Pelicans, the Timberwolves, the Bulls, and the Rockets. This team started off the season 3-2. They're now 3-19. They're on a 16-game losing streak. If this is the game they win, I'll tip my cap and move on. Give me the Lakers -130, and I will put together. And I'll put my normal 0.6 units, 0.6 NBA units here on it. I'm gonna put the 3-teamer together here. Sixers money line, Pelicans money line, Lakers money line. I don't advocate for parlays. This is one I want here. So, and that's a +162. So I'm on that 3-teamer as well. This is the best NBA card I've seen in a long time. Guess that makes a market. There you go. Under, yeah. Lakers money line. There's no way they just win the tournament and then give up to a team on a 17-game losing streak. Even if LeBron doesn't play, they win. Yep. Then they play again tomorrow. Yeah. Spurs roster the Rockets. Okay. we'll keep on moving on here. The Milwaukee Bucks and the Indiana Pacers. The Bucks 6.5-point favorites in this game. Total of 258.5 in this game, which is, I believe, the highest total we've seen in NBA history since they have started posting lines. I don't think we've seen a total this high before, and it's been bet up to a 259. Line opened up at a 256.5. It's up to a 259. You need 260 points for this game to go over the total. Line opened up at a 5.5. It's up to a 6.5 now for these for these Bucks. 72% that's the money line. 73% of the tickets, 82% of the cash is on these Milwaukee Bucks. 39% of the tickets and 76% of the cash is on the over. The lines move towards the over here in this spot here. And for me, I'm kind of interested in this over. And I get it. This really, really high total is going to scare some people away, which I fully invite. It's not like the public is on this over. It's only 39% of the tickets, but 73% of the cash, 76% of the cash is on this over. I am very, very interested here in this over in this spot. And do they not have team totals available? Do they not have team totals available? I was looking towards maybe a Pacers team total over here in this spot as well. This actually, I'm very interested in that here. But for me, I'm going to look towards this over at 258.5 on my book. I think this is a spot where people are going to get scared off just because it's a really high total. And I am going to play it anyway. So we're going to take it over in this game. I think this game finishes in the 270s type of game. So there's the team totals. And a 126 here for the team total for the Pacers. I'm going to play that as well. So for me, Pacers team total over 126 and the full game over at 258.5. High total for a reason in this game. And this game finishes in the 280s. We'll see why this total was as high as it was. So lock that in. There we go. Back to the chat. Then we have 2 games left. LeBum, I might sit out NAD. Yeah, careful. I'm fine with it either way. I think I play prop same game parlay for the Bucks game. I can absolutely see that. Under. Just wanted to make the live show to say Canucks. Yeah, the Canucks got the job done last night. A lot of NBA lines feel like they're just giving the money away compared to other sports. Yeah, sometimes, but Siakam points, rebounds, assists over 35.5. There you go. We'll move into the second to last game, the New York Knicks and the Utah Jazz. The Knicks has 6-point favorites in this game, total 228 in this spot. Let's take a look at the line history in this game here, where we have this line opened up at if it'll click, there we go. Opened up at a 6.5, it's down to a 6, so a small movement towards Utah. Opened up at a 227.5, it's up to a 228, so a move towards the over here as well. We have 54% of the tickets, 99% of the cash is on the Knicks in this game. The lines move towards Utah, which is probably going to be enough to keep me off the Knicks. 67% of the tickets are in the under in this game as well. My number was a 6.5, so I think this line's correct. So this will be a pretty simple stay off spot for me. We have one more game left, and I think I might move on it. So, which we will head into that final game here. Phoenix Suns and the Brooklyn Nets. 2-point favorites are the Suns. Total of 227 in this spot. Let's take a look at the line history here between these Nets and the Suns. Line opened up at a 3.5. It's down to a 2. So we've had a move towards Phoenix here in this one. Line opened up at a 227.5. It's down to a 227. So it's moved towards the under as well in this game. No cash flow or tickets on the total. We have 52% of the tickets and 93% of the cash is on these Brooklyn Nets. And the lines move towards the Nets here in this spot. And I see line value in this game because I typed it in wrong. I put the Nets as a 2-point dog instead of a 2-point favorite. And that's why I saw line value in this one. I think this now correcting my spreadsheet, there's no value on this game. Maybe at the 3.5 number, I'll have been a little bit more interested in Brooklyn. But no interest in this one here in this spot. I will just stick with my action here that I have in the NBA. So That is the entire NBA card. We'll head back to the chat. We'll recap and head on out. Fernando looking at the over in that game. Lean, pass, but lean towards the Knicks there for Markel. But that is the entire card for today. We will first go into a little bit of
housekeeping.
If you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button if you appreciate the content, and turn on those post notifications so you guys are notified each and every time we are live here at Earle Sports Bets every single morning, anywhere between 10 and 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Earle Sports Bet Show. Also follow us on all of our social media, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, all of that fun stuff there. You can follow us on all those platforms as well. But recap for today, not a huge card for me. Looking at some draws in the NHL and so looking to get some big plus money here. So let's get into it. Montreal Canadiens plus 130. And all these draw plays are quarter unit plays. They're small bets. Penguins Canadiens draw at plus 315. Islanders Ducks draw at plus 355. Boston Bruins money line plus 105. Buffalo Sabres money line plus 170. Jets Kings under 6, as well as the Jets Kings draw at plus 330. We're on the Lakers money line at minus 130. We got that three-teamer of the Fade the Tankathon with the 76ers, the New Orleans Pelicans, and the Los Angeles Lakers. And we got the Milwaukee Bucks, we got the Indiana Pacers team total over 126 and the full game over 258 and a half. But that is everything for today's show. I want to thank you guys, as always, for watching, and we'll be back here same time, same place tomorrow with another edition of the Earle Sports Bet Show. Good luck, guys.